So we're Americans who've been living in Europe for the last 3 years, and we're about to head back to the United States. And this video is all about the things we miss about living in the US while living abroad. So first and foremost, one of the things we obviously miss about the United States is friends and family. However, we're not really gonna touch on that because that one's too easy and too obvious, and it's something that just simply really cannot be replaced. Yes, we have friends abroad. However, our family and friends do live in the United States as well. So let's get to some of the other things we really miss about living in the United States. While there are a few things we don't like about Target and other big stores like this one behind me here, one thing we really miss about them is the convenience, is that you can go here and you can get just about anything. Basically, if it's not here, you're gonna have a really difficult time finding it. And that's something we miss about the US. Whereas in Europe, you generally have to go around to a bunch of different smaller stores that are more specialty. And especially when you're new in a place and you don't speak the language, it can be really hard to find very specific things. So being able to come to one place, know where it is something we really miss about the US. So one of the things we really miss about the United States are the sports facilities in public parks. Generally in Europe, what we found is they don't have a ton of them. And usually you're gonna have to join like a private club or something like that to get really great sports facilities. Where in a lot of places in the United States, you're gonna go to a public park, you're gonna find a baseball diamond, a soccer field or football field, and then a basketball court. They're all over the place and it's super common. So just not having those available at public parks is something we don't really like about Europe because it doesn't seem as accessible for everyone. So being able to go to a public park, find a baseball diamond was something I loved as a kid, or a basketball court or anything like that. And it's something we really miss about the United States. Now this one might seem obvious as well. However, having a ton of opportunities as citizens of the United States is something we kind of miss because it's easy in the United States for us to, I guess, just move to another city and find a job, or move to another city without a job. And it's a lot easier for that than it is in another country where we need a visa to be there. And if we want to change cities, we probably need a job to go do that, even if it's within the same country. And it's a little bit more challenging as somebody who doesn't hold a passport of that country. So just having that opportunity and freedom of mobility in terms of moving somewhere without needing all the bureaucracy and visas and paperwork is something we miss about the United States while living abroad. And to add something else to this one, while we were living in the US, because we were citizens, it was super easy to get a second or even third job if you wanted to. Now, if you have to get it because of cost of living, obviously that might not be the best thing. However, we had a second job and it was something we really loved because we loved going there and doing it. We met great people, and just the ability to have that easily in the country where you're a citizen of is something we miss about living in the US. Now it might seem pretty silly, but one of the things we really miss about living in the United States is getting free water, and free water with ice at restaurants. It's pretty simple, but one of the things that really bugs us about Europe is having to pay a super expensive price for a bottle of water at a restaurant. I know you can ask for tap, but it's just not as common, and sometimes the wait staff gives you a weird look if you ask for tap water at a restaurant in Europe. They can give you one, but again, they give you that weird look where I just appreciate having that free tap water, and the ice is a little bit of an added bonus, especially in summer. So that's something we miss about living in the US, and I know it's small and silly, but it's really a nice thing when you are thirsty and you're at a restaurant. Now, if you're interested in content like this about living abroad, as well as seeing some of our travels, including travel guides and food tours all across Europe and the world, make sure to like and subscribe so you get notified of our videos right away. Now, back to the things we miss about living in the US. One of the other things we really miss about the United States, and this actually came as a bit of a shock to us, but it's really the friendly people. Yes, they're known for having small talk conversations that often aren't seen as being very deep and actually being quite shallow to a lot of people. However, after coming back to the US after a few years abroad, it's something that we actually kind of appreciated and we felt is a little bit genuine, at least coming from the majority of people. The US is a lot better at small talk, so it could be because we're coming from Germany and back to the United States. However, the small talk here is something that we really actually like. Now, while Germans are really bad at small talk, they're absolutely amazing at the completely unwanted German stare. And now if you've been to Germany, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're walking down the street, people will just stare at you and basically not break eye contact unless you look straight back at them directly in the eyes. But otherwise, people have no problems staring at you. One of the things we really miss about the United States are the seemingly limitless number of food options. You can get almost any type of cuisine, and you can get it almost at any time of day. It's really quite amazing, and it's something we love. I know the portion sizes are generally known to be huge and perhaps too big, which makes it unhealthy. However, the number of food options you have here is incredible. Another thing we really miss about living in the United States is the craft breweries. And it's really something we don't feel like we had in Spain, and we definitely don't have in Germany. Yes, German beer is great, and we actually have a video about that, so make sure to like and subscribe. But the craft breweries in the United States are incredible. Yes, there are tons of them and tons of options, and it might seem like overkill, but we love the vibe and the atmosphere of the craft breweries here, as well as the different options of beer, because you have a seemingly endless selection of types of beer, and we just love going to them and exploring them. And it is one place that we feel like is kind of becoming a third space that's kid-friendly as well as adult-friendly, and that's definitely something we love. Now, remember to check out our video of things we don't miss about the United States, and while you're here, make sure to see some of our other videos about living abroad as well as travel, and we'll see you over at those other videos. Bye!